Today we're cutting through the noise and diving headfirst into the, well, gloriously absurd yet undeniably lucrative world of monetizing Google VO3 video creations. And our mission, should we choose to accept it, and we absolutely do, mostly for the sheer entertainment value, is to extract the cold hard truth on how to turn AI-generated video into actual cash. No fluff, just the delightfully cynical step-by-step reality. And why now, you ask? Because according to our sources, there is this massive opportunity to create viral content. Apparently that skill moat, the unique expertise or barrier to entry to getting content past 100K views has just vanished. Like poof, dumb 8-second clips getting hundreds of thousands of views. So if you've ever, vaguely considered becoming a digital mogul or maybe just owning a slightly less rusty unicycle, this deep dive is definitely for you.
What's truly fascinating here isn't just the speed, but the seismic shift it represents. The barrier to entry for producing compelling video content has just dramatically lowered, making your unique perspective, that, human spark, even more critical.
Our sources tell us everything begins with ideation. Not just any idea.
Oh, no.
We're talking funny or absurd core ideas, the kind that makes you chuckle, maybe with a touch of existential dread just thinking about it. Forget virality, apparently. Aim for conceptually strong and visually ridiculous.
Indeed. The fundamental truth highlighted is that no amount of AI can fix a weak idea. It just can't. Your concept needs to be emotionally sticky, whether that's funny, absurd, or just deeply relatable. It needs to be easily visualizable and format ready for short-form content, typically around 30 to 60 seconds. It's really about a high-level comedic or narrative hook, not so much the execution details at this stage.
And speaking of ridiculous, the sources offer some truly standout examples of what's actually gone viral. It's kind of wild. We're talking a fully AI-generated car show interview complete with realistic crowd behavior, lighting, camera movement, and even babies and strollers.
I mean, man, the acceleration is crazy. You look far, step on the pedal, and you are there.
I feel safe with him in an SUV, and it seems to be like the right type of car for him.
I think the range is only going to get better. Sorry.
Apparently all from a single text prompt.
Yeah.
Which sounds unlikely, but okay.
Yeah, that one's impressive if true.
Then there are street-style vox pop interviews so convincing they're mistaken for real documentaries. And my personal favorite, these thought experiment clips where AI characters gain self-awareness asking things like, wait, we're not real, or couldn't you have come up with a nicer place when you wrote the prompt?
By the way, I'm not realist.
I'm not real either, Dado.
We're just the result of a prompt. Isn't that crazy?
Just dark, cinematic, and profoundly unsettling.
Yes, and beyond the unsettling, we also see things like ASMR-style visuals, these hyper-realistic clips of, glass being cleanly sliced or crystalline textures under soft soundscapes, perfectly crafted for niche audiences on platforms like TikTok. These really leverage the AI's ability to render hyperfine detail, stuff that would be hard to film.
Oh, but it gets better. Our sources mention Yeti vlogs, an AI-generated cartoonish Yeti doing, mundane or absurd human activities like vlogging daily life or drinking coffee. It's the surreal contrast between a mythical creature and influencer culture. That juxtaposition again.
Exactly. Or stormtrooper vlogs. A Star Wars stormtrooper casually narrating gym routines or dating advice.
Hilarious. The common thread here is definitely that unexpected, often comedic clash of concepts.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, these examples didn't just magically go viral. They leveraged a combination of realism plus novelty, that sort of deliberate blurring of lines between what's real and what's generated. They have high concept hooks that immediately provoke curiosity. They fit seamlessly into meme formats and quick shares, and often boast surprisingly accessible production value, frequently from just one prompt. The advice seems to be draw inspiration from these, but fundamentally do what you're into and just experiment relentlessly. The key insight really is that the concept must be inherently compelling. The AI just makes it visual. You still need the spark.
Okay, so with these truly absurd ideas rattling around in your head, the next challenge is translating that pure conceptual gold into something the all-powerful VO3 can actually process. How do we bridge that gap from, human imagination to AI execution?
This is where you call in the digital scribes. ChatGPT, or Gemini. These large language models, or LLMs, they're basically your co-writers now. They help you refine your script, break it down into a visual shot list scene by scene, and then transform each scene into a really detailed prompt for VO3. The key isn't just length, it's specificity. You need to include camera angles, environments, character actions, and any emotional tone. Get granular.
Right, so no more vague, show me a funny cat. It's gotta be, show me a Persian cat in a miniature fedora, sipping artisanal coffee in a dimly lit Parisian cafe, looking profoundly unimpressed, shot from a low-angle Dutch tilt.
Got it. Because as our sources warn, generic prompts lead to generic results. And you don't want to be generic, do you? Rhetorical question, by the way, don't answer that. Precisely. And this raises an important point. What if your own human brain isn't, producing peak comedic genius that day? Happens to the best of us. Our sources actually suggest you can outsource your creativity to the AI itself. Ask ChatGPT something like, give me 10 satirical SNL-style twists for a pharmaceutical commercial. Or specify comedy styles, maybe jokes in the style of Seth Rogen, Bill Burr. Get specific with the vibe. While it's probably true that 95% of AI jokes aren't funny, let's be honest, the more encouraging news is that 5% actually are. So the advice is just keep prompting. It really is a numbers game for humor sometimes. The AI just helps you roll the dice faster.
All right, scripts are refined, prompts are detailed, our digital muses are sturdily exhausted from generating SNL twists. Now for the actual magic trick.
Yeah.
Generated the video clips with Google Veo 3.
Okay.
This is where the pixels finally meet the screen, yeah.
Yeah, this is the core generation step. The process itself is pretty straightforward. You input your detailed prompts into Google Veo, specifically via Google Flow, to generate short video clips. It can do audio too, if required. However, here's where expectations need a reality check. It's less a magic wand, more a very patient, very digital assembly line situation.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like a lot of clicking and waiting, a lot of button mashing for something that promises instant virality. But still, the underlying economics are pretty compelling, aren't they? But given the iteration needed, what are the common pitfalls? What stops someone from actually achieving that kind of staggering ROI? It can't be that simple.
That's the real question, isn't it? The promise is huge, enabling a single person to produce agency-level content. But that 5.1 ratio of attempts to usable clips cited implies patience and persistence are absolutely paramount. To get better results, there are indeed technical hacks mentioned. Describe camera movements for a more cinematic feel, get detailed with character descriptions for consistency, and apparently avoid using quotes in prompts to reduce weird subtitle issues. Little tricks like that. The biggest pitfall, ironically, is probably just human impatience. While LLMs handle the heavy lifting of script and prompt generation, effectively directing the AI still requires a strategic mind, not just, throwing prompts at the wall and hoping for the best.
Okay, so you've wrestled with Veo 3, you've endured the 20-30 iterations per scene, maybe shed a few tears, and now you have a pile of raw AI-generated brilliance, or at least usable clips. What's the next crucial step in this journey to viral fame and fortune? Does it just automatically upload itself and go viral? Or is there, dare I ask, still a smidgen of human effort required?
Oh, more than a smidgen, definitely. This is where human curation becomes absolutely indispensable. Editing. You'll use tools like CapCut or Premiere or, free alternatives like Final Cut Pro or Davinci Resolve to cut the best takes, add music, captions, and crucial pacing. The goal is punchy and quick. You're aiming for fast cuts, strong rhythm, and absolutely no filler for maximum impact in minimum time. This is where you elevate the AI's raw output into something, actually watchable and engaging.
And now, the grand finale. The moment we've all been waiting for. You've got your absurd AI-generated masterpiece, meticulously edited for maximum dopamine hits. How do we turn this into that glorious cold, hard cash? Because, let's be honest, that's why we're all really here. For the rusty unicycle upgrade. Or maybe something slightly better.
Right. This is where the economic model becomes genuinely fascinating. You might spend, a few $100s on subscription fees for Veo 3 and editing tools, but then you can potentially charge several thousands for your videos. The sources really emphasize this. The speed and low cost let you produce weekly viral-ready content and basically compete directly with traditional ad agencies as a one-person studio. We're talking potentially charging premium fees, 5 figures per video, if your output truly rivals agency-level commercials. That's the potential ceiling.
A lean, mean, AI-powered content machine. Yeah. Nice. Our sources lay out multiple pathways to monetizing these skills right now. There were like 10 listed, but 2 in particular really seem to stand out as uniquely powerful with Veo 3's capabilities based on what we've discussed.
Absolutely. First, think about creating hyper-targeted commercials for niche industries. This really plays to the AI's strengths. Imagine a local organic bakery needing a quirky ad, or maybe a specialized tech startup targeting a very specific B2B audience. With Veo 3, you could potentially churn out agency-quality, highly customized ads at a fraction of the cost a traditional agency would charge. That makes you incredibly competitive. You're not just making a video, you're solving a specific business problem with unprecedented efficiency.
Okay, that makes sense. Targeting, cost-effective. And the second method that really jumps out.
Second, the idea of launching a sketch comedy channel. This directly leverages the absurdity we talked about earlier. Think Yeti vlogs and Stormtrooper vlogs. With the AI handling the often complex visuals, your unique comedic voice becomes the main bottleneck, not production logistics. You can rapidly prototype sketch ideas, generate countless permutations, test what resonates with an audience, all without needing a big production crew or expensive sets. It's really a direct pipeline from your unique humor to a potentially massive audience if you hit the right notes.
This all sounds fantastic, maybe a little too fantastic. But what's the actual secret sauce for getting people to watch your genius creation? Because if no one sees it, it's just a digital tree falling in an AI forest, right? Without even a hypothetical sound.
The hook. It is everything. Our sources are super emphatic about this. Let that sink in. You have a mere 0.2 seconds to hook someone with your headline, and then maybe 2-3 seconds to keep them watching the actual video. Brutal, the advice. Use provocative statements that aren't cliche, definitely include numbers for contrast, like it provides immediate stark value, and ask questions to drive engagement. It's essentially the Mr. Beast philosophy applied to AI-generated content. The title and thumbnail are paramount. They're the gatekeepers. Without a compelling hook, the content, no matter how brilliant, just remains unseen, lost in the noise.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for us? For the intrepid human creators navigating this brave, weird, new AI world? Is it just a race to the bottom, churning out cheap content? Or is there a genuine light at the end of this delightfully absurd tunnel?
Yeah, that's the big question. What truly gives you an edge when, cinematic visuals are becoming commoditized? Almost anyone can make something look good now. Our sources are crystal clear on this. Humor is your moat. AI can't replace it. Not really. Not yet, anyway. Your unique perspective and wit are what make your content stand out in what will very soon be a veritable ocean of increasingly accessible AI-generated media. That human element, that spark of original thought, and especially comedic timing, that's the ultimate differentiator.
Okay, but what about those inevitable glitches? The weird extra fingers, the backgrounds that morph mid-scene. AI still does that, right? Do we just pretend they don't exist, or do we, lean into the chaos?
Don't fight them, lean into the absurdity. That's the advice. Embrace those quirks. Turn technical glitches into deliberate stylistic choices. This isn't just a coping mechanism. It apparently diffuses frustration for you as the creator, and it can actually enhance your content's charm and shareability for the viewer. It turns a bug into a unique, often hilarious feature, makes it memorable.
But virality is famously unpredictable, right?
Yeah.
You can't just flip a switch and go viral, even with all this tech, can you?
Absolutely not. That seems clear. Success rarely hinges on a single perfect video, but rather on a steady flow of creative output. Quantity combined with creativity builds momentum. It really is an arms race for attention out there. The hard truth seems to be, making things cinematic is no longer difficult. That skill is becoming common. The truly rare skill is still telling good stories. Your unique perspective, your distinct voice, your ability to tell those good stories, your specific brand of humor, and your willingness to lean into the absurd that's your enduring competitive advantage. That's the moat.
And there you have it, your roadmap, sort of, to monetizing Veo 3 videos. From the first absurd spark of an idea through the endless iterations to the grand monetization strategies. It's definitely a wild ride that truly balances human creativity, or maybe just weirdness, with AI's raw production power. So here's a thought for you to mull over. If, as our sources say, cinematic visuals are basically becoming a commodity, but great storytelling and unique humor remain truly rare skills, how will your distinct human perspective cut through the inevitable noise of AI-generated content? In a world where a stormtrooper can share dating advice and a Yeti can vlog about coffee, what absurdly unique corner of the internet is your brilliant, slightly strange mind going to conquer next? Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the wonderfully weird world of AI video monetization. We'll catch you on the next one.
You might as well subscribe to Swetlana AI.